Hello and welcome everybody to another Middling Mondays. It's your boy Torpid here, bringing you a game between young Todd Howard the First, playing as the Hive Tyrant. God, it's been ages since I've seen Tyranids. And we're fighting, well, we're not fighting, I'm thinking I'm playing. I'm definitely not young Todd Howard the First, let me tell you. I am Big Torpid the First, not young Todd Howard. He's going to be fighting Ciaphas Cain. I feel like I should know how to pronounce Ciaphas because that's like he's a 40k lore thing, but I don't know, so I'm just gonna call him Cain. It's your boy Cain, playing as the Aversa Assassin, gonna kick some fucking ass. Are we gonna see Bio Meltdown wiping out the entire Tyranid army at some point in this game? Possibly. It's quite possible. For now, we're going to see pretty conventional builds on either side. Oh, I'm going to have to turn down the music here. It's too loud for me. Right. So yeah, pretty standard build. So you're opening double gaunts. They're going to try and DPS down the Aversa. Now the Aversa, with his very high damage both in melee and range, should be bleeding termagants really quickly. And now the Strike Squad are moving in as well. This is an awful position for the Nids. They just need to get the fuck out of there. On the plus side, the Hormagaunts are going to have a really good engagement over on this bit of the map. Hold on, I must have fucked up the audio here somehow. Alright, let's continue. I'm not going to edit that because we're just rolling with it. I ain't got the fucking time, I'm a diva. Fucking hell, I'm having a diva tantrum. By the way guys, did you know that the smaller your girlfriend's titties are, the closer you are to her heart? Have you thought about that? Itty Bitty Titty Committee, if you're part of that, I want you to let me know in the comments down below, okay? If you're part of the Itty Bitty Titty community, let me know, because I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of little titties. Anyway, Hormagaunts are getting a gem bash on the generators over here. They did force off the IST, managed to kill a couple of the models. That was kind of expected. That's the thing with the Hormagaunts, you kind of want the actual Grey Knights, the Strike Squad, to meet the Hormagaunts, because they can actually beat them in melee. Now obviously with the Strike Squad meeting the Termagants, he handily routed the Termagants and forced them off, but he didn't really get much gain. I think the Niz got the better end of that. I mean, he maybe bled about 2 or 3 models, not really a big deal. Yeah, you can see the XP on the Hero and the Strike Squad, it's nothing major. And to get the Gen Bash over here, I think that's better for the Nids. Now, map control is completely even right now, but there is a Gen advantage for the Niddies. And they got Raveners coming out. They're going to be met with a Purgation. Now in theory, you'd think that Raveners counter Purgation pretty well with the Burrow. And they do, but the Purgation obviously are there to kill the Gaunts. The high AoE flamer damage will do crazy damage to the Gaunts. Make the Terminus really sad. Versa Assassin needs to be careful, a little bit more tickling, and he could die and retreat to the Hive Tyrant. Oh, beautiful special from the Aversa. He does have a really strong special. Nice banishment as well. Yeah, the Termagants are having a bad day. Raveners jump in to disrupt the Termagants. These guys need to just get out of there. Disrupt the Termagants. Disrupt the Strike Squad. Save the Termagants. Now the Strikes are really overstaying their welcome. That Hive Tyrant got so many attacks on them. There's just not enough here. No Hive Tyrant attacks on the ear? No, he gets one. I feel like if the Raveners successfully meleeed, that would have been a dead Aversa Assassin. I think 2 melee hits from the Ravs probably would have killed him. So, Purgation are going to move in now. Not really achieving a whole lot though. The Flamers are definitely not very effective against the Hive Tyrant. Being the tankiest hero in the game by default, and only being a single entity, Flamers are not really very good against him. You want Silencers against him. But they ain't going to be here till tier 2. Frag Grenade goes in from the IST, easily dodged. And honestly, I think Cain's in a pretty rough spot right here. He's losing the map control. These cheeky Hormagaunts are putting in mad work on the sidelines. He's having his gens pressured again. He's not really... Ooh, he might take the Hive Tyrant. No, he doesn't. That would have been the kind of pick that he needs. I mean, the Aversa's running out of base at this point with about 40% HP. It's not really ideal. It's desperate times for Cain. You can't handle young Todd. Young Todd's got the money. But we haven't seen any money shots yet. We'll have to wait and see. Hormagaunts fleeing from the IST on this side. I think it's like a bait and switch, yeah. Now they're moving back in while the micro's distracted over here. And the thing is, Hormagaunts are 6.5 speed. Not to mention, obviously, they get the melee charge there. Look, he's got the melee charge. He's got the fucking melee charge. He's going in. Oh, shit. He's on his back. The IST have got no... Yeah, IST needs to get out of there. We do have some bros coming along. Bit of a non-fight in the centre. Tiz just soft retreated away. Yeah, the Hormagaunts get a couple of model kills in the IST, then ditch. They only lose one model themselves, that's pretty nice. Ah, the Aversa Assassin got another 2 models, what the fuck? Crazy bastard. We should see a frag grenade on these warriors now they're slowed. It only hits 1 model, that was kind of a fail. Warriors should be attacking the Aversa in retreat. Are they going to do it? Nope, they're not paying attention. But Purgation are getting really overwhelmed, there's just too much shit from these Tyranids. Strike Squad are doing their best, sticking in melee combat. Yeah, they don't want this though. They're only on like half HP. Oh, they're only on 2 models, jeez. Yeah, the bleed from Cain's side has just been kind of immense. Kind of immense level of bleed. I don't think he's really made any compositional errors so far. He's just not really getting very good engagements. I do think some Wargears for the Aversa Assassin would have been really helpful. The Neurotoxin Pistol, just to bleed down Ravener models, or pop the Warrior Brood models, would have been really nice. Just put him in range stance and use him defensively. That way he doesn't die so quickly to all the range units here. Focus firing him down. Oh no, Strike Squad running out without their final model. Oh, beautiful banishment though. That's going to be amazing in tier 2 once it gets buffed with the Justicar. He's using the Strike Squad quite well, I think. A lot of bleed coming in here. You know what, I've not actually seen him use Psychon, which is a mistake. I know it takes that big chunk of HP off you, and obviously that's not great. But the thing is, 30% damage resistance is really not negligible. You cannot ignore it. It's really good, especially when you retreat. It stacks with the damage resistance you get in retreat, and it makes him bloody tanky. I actually love using Psychon before I retreat, from melee fights that is, because it negates the extra damage that you take from melee and retreat. So you can stick in combat for a long time, and obviously it's not just damage resistance, it gives you 30% extra damage as well. Strike Squad are really overstaying their welcome here, that was bold. Hormagaunts kind of a bit of a game of chicken that. If Hormagaunts stayed in melee, they probably would have wiped the Strike Squad, but at the same time, the Strike Squad can't proc specials against the HT, but they can against the Hormagaunts, and that could have led to wiped Hormagaunts because of the supporting fire from the IST. So, Todd plays it safe, he backs off, he doesn't get a wipe on the Strike Squad, and that might bite him in the arse, because the Strike Squad gets so much stronger in tier 2, especially in this matchup. But the Order Malleus have a lot of great tools against Tyranids in tier 2, especially the Aversa Assassin. I mean, I was talking about Bio Meltdown. I believe you can use Bio Meltdown in tier 1 anyway, I'm not sure, but it costs loads of red, so even if you could use it in tier 1, you'd never have the red for it. But that ability, combined with the charge armor that the Aversa Assassin has, and potentially the speed buffing accessory as well, it's just so easy to run inside all these Termagants and just kill them with Bio Meltdown. Now, because obviously that does full damage on retreat. Now, that said, obviously Termagants have a natural defense against that. They have their Toxin Sacks, so just save your bloody Toxin Sacks to deal with the Aversa Assassin. Don't use them frivolously on other units like the Grey Knight Strike Squad. I would like to see the Purgation of... Oh wow, the Venom Cannon's already coming out. This is a really awkward position for the Hive Tyrant. I think he completely forgot about the fact that the Hive Tyrant can get a Venom Cannon, but the Strike Squad are going to tie him up for now. One Ravener model's already going down. Ravener models are notoriously expensive to reinforce, you really don't want to be bleeding them. And the Strike Squad are actually just reinforcing off the Rhino, and now they're Justicar, so they're way better in melee, and really, really, really tanky now as well. Purgation get out, they're going to be doing great damage to the Termagants. Yeah, this is an awful engagement. Just back the fuck out of there, Todd. You don't want this shit. Okay, well that's really rough because he's basically wasted the Rippers. He's lost his tower. He dropped a Brood Nest down, and that's going to do nothing. What's happening on this side? IST capping up this area. The Homagot's coming to intercept them. Homagot's purely being used as a capping unit so far. Interesting. And IST did fall at some point. I don't even know when that happened. Maybe it was on the sidelines. Maybe you guys seen it in a big fight. I don't know. Rippers somehow have survived. All 10 of the fuckers as well. How the hell did they manage that? Alright, we're going to see some melee Synapse Warriors. Do we have Gene Stealers? No, it seems like he cancelled them. I mean, I don't actually dislike the Gene Stealer pick. That's obviously going to manhandle the Strike Squad. Especially with your Adrenal Glands. You've got the AV already with your Venom Cannon HT. This Adrenal Gland Warrior Squad does some AV as well, if they can get into melee. You just tie them up with Rippers. Yeah, I like it. I think it's a solid composition. As I say, I'd really like to see the Purgation turned into Silencers, just to really threaten this Hive Tyrant and the Raveners and bleed them. But at the same time, you might want to keep the Incinerators now that the Adrenal Gland Warriors are on the field, and soon there's going to be Gene Stealers, so he is going to want that melee control. I was just about to say, we really need to see some upgrades for the Aversa Assassin. Rippers finally fall to the Strike Squad. That is kind of just feeding them free XP. You don't get a lot of XP killing Rippers, but it is XP at the end of the day. They're level 2 at this point, over 2000 HP, because they get a passive HP buff when the big bad Justicar comes onto the field. We're seeing weapons for the Aversa Assassin. I think he might actually regret the Neuro Gauntlet soon, because if he got the Eviscerator Axe and he dropped Killzone onto wherever the Gene Stealers were fighting the Strike Squad, that would mean the Strike Squad would proc lock specials against the Gene Stealers and do pretty damn well. He's not going to have that as an option right now. The Neuro Gauntlet can't actually do any specials. Okay, here's Bio Meltdown now. The Nids just needs to get out of there. He's already used his charge though, which is a bit unfortunate. I don't think the Gene Stealers have noticed the Bio Meltdown. They need to get out of there. They don't want to kill the fucking Aversa Assassin. It'll blow them up. What are they doing? Psychon is popped. He's doing even more damage. The Gene Stealers are just going to die. I don't know why he's staying in this fight. Todd, what are you doing? I think he was focusing his micro up top. Oh my god, the Strike Squad get really low. The Strike Squad are going to get wiped, and now Bio Meltdown has actually worn off. So now you can safely kill the Aversa Assassin. The Raveners have gone for melee. Oh, I like it. Full melee build. Well, not full melee, but you know, everything bar the Termagants. This almost feels obligatory to get double Termagants. I mean, it wasn't historically, you know, triple Homagants, double Raveners was kind of common. Alright, well that was, I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, it was sloppy, right? It was sloppy. So what's happened? We lost both heroes. The Rhino's still in the field, which seems to be like the most crucial takeaway here, because now there's no AV. The AV, in summary, is the Adrenal Gland Warriors, who in theory, as long as you micro it well, should not be able to catch up to the Rhino. But after all, guys, this is a middling Monday, so you never know. I guess this Rhino probably won't live that long. We see the Strike Squad being replaced with Purifiers, which is a very natural choice. As you can see, Purifiers come out with even more HP than those level 2 Strike Squad upgraded with their Tomo bullshit. So they are just objectively better. They do way more DPS as well. They do power melee on the power swords, and they do heavy melee on the Thunderhammer. The Thunderhammer even has a 360 degree special attack. How cool is that? They have bonus HP regen in melee as well compared to the Strike Squad. They're just a better unit. Well, they're a better melee dueling unit, but they don't have the support tools that the Strike Squad have. They don't have energy burst, so they can't drain enemy units' energy, and they can't reduce movement speed. They also don't have banishment to do the AoE damage at range for the onto the Termagants. They do actually do pretty good sidearm damage though with the Stormbolters as well. I'm not actually sure how the damage of the Purifiers stacks up compared to the Strike Squad in ranged. I bet though that it probably is about as good. They're very, very strong. They're very, very expensive, and that's why these guys coming out means that Todd has actually managed to get himself to tier 3 in the meantime. So at this point, Cain really needs to press his advantage with the Purifiers and get a gem bash off, because whilst the tier 2 of Tyranids is not very power intensive, the tier 3 actually is. Carnifex in particular costs a shitload of power. It's like 160 power or something for a Carnifex with its upgrade. It's extremely expensive. Hormigaunt's sort of just running in for no reason there. I don't really know what that was about. We're going to actually see a Neurophobe. I don't like that. I don't really understand. I mean, I get it. The Neurophobe's got really good control against infantry. You can disrupt them with Cataclysm, and Paroxysm does percentage-based damage, which is good against things like Grey Knights, which have low models and a whole lot of HP. But at the end of the day, it's not a lot of control. We lost the Gene Stealers, so there's not really much of a melee deterrent right now. Warriors and Raveners are nice support melee units, but they don't have huge amounts of DPS. So the Purifiers can just run in and beat up a Neurophobe. So I like that he cancelled it. Yeah, this is not a melee fight that the Warriors want to take. This is very foolish. This is so much power melee DPS. Oh, he doesn't tell me. Oh, he does. 80 power melee DPS here for the Aversa Assassin. And then he does a damage over time as well. I assume the damage over time is piercing. Yeah, it says that as well. Come on, Torpid, read the fucking tooltip, bro. 5 piercing DPS for 2.5 seconds in addition to the 80 DPS power melee. That is a scary weapon. How much does it stack? Did it say how much it stacks? No, it doesn't. Because he attacks really fast, so that DOT can stack really quickly. Now, this is all just feeding Purifier's XP, but honestly I'm a little bit concerned for Cain because the Carnifex is coming out, and he doesn't have any AV. I mean, he's not in a terrible position, he still has a Purgation, loafing about with the Flamers. Somehow they've got a shitload of XP. They can obviously get the Beamer since he hasn't already got the Silencers. Oh, Todd thinks he's a worse player. It's alright, Todd, you're great. Don't worry about it, mate. You're a great player. I would like to see you do more with your Hormiguns, though. You're doing a good job just capping, to be honest, with them. They're, you know, they're very active on the sidelines. But Hormiguns are a great combat unit. I would like to see them use it in combat a little bit more. Yep, so here comes the Carnifex. Honestly, losing the Hive Tyrant earlier was just so shit. Because this Rhino is just an absolute nuisance and it needs to die. But going for a Venom Cannon Carnifex just feels like such mega overkill. I mean, it's a fucking transport, you know what I mean? The Venom Cannon Carnifex is basically as expensive as a goddamn super unit. So, getting that to kill a Rhino, just, I don't know, it feels bad. Feels bad. It shouldn't be necessary. I'd like to have seen a Thornback Carnifex to really screw up these Purifiers. Honestly, the Purifiers can really tie up the Carnifex for ages, and then if Cain gets something like a Warhammer Razorback, it's going to be a nightmare. Honestly, even frigging normal Terminators with their power melee could be quite a nuisance, just because they can deal with all the Warriors. And remember, if you kill Warriors nearby to the Carnifex, it will take off 10% of the HP of the Fex. So Terminators could focus on him, or Purifiers tie it up, and then you've got the Beamer around as well. There is a lot of AB potential here. Obviously the Carnifex can't fire while the Purifiers are tying it up, which is not ideal. Now the Carnifex does have a crazy good special. If he can proc that special, he will do fantastic. Unfortunately he's not proc... Oh, here he goes! Ooh, look at that damage. Takes off like a third of the HP of the Purifiers just straight away. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, Carnifex holding its own, even in melee. Even with that Venom Cannon. Rhino's super weak. One more burst will kill them. Yeah, we see the Beamer though. It's good. No crazy bio meltdowns yet. Aversa's gonna do his thing. Try and nuke down this brood nest. Carnifex finally taking some shots from this Beamer. For some reason the other supporting models have ran forward really far. Aversa needs to be careful, could die in melee to the Carnifex. I think the Carnifex is a little bit frightened right now from the Beamer, which is getting slightly out of range. Really needs to just melee the fucking Aversa Assassin. He's gonna die. Yep, Carnifex gobbles him up. So the Carnifex so far is putting in great work. All it needs to do now is kill that stupid Rhino, and Todd will be in a great position. I'd like to see some more towers coming down and Rippers coming out to try and flank the Rhino so it can't just drive away. That way the Carnifex can kill it. Obviously you have the Bioplasma as well. If you hit the Bioplasma on rear armor of the Rhino, that should just take off like 400 HP, which, well, right now that would be very close to killing it. Carnifex needs to be careful here. Oh, he's going for the Bioplasma. Is that skill shot? Ooh, nice hit. Actually did about 300 damage, so not 400. That's fine. You got it down again. Nice skill shot. I like to see it. You got that rear arm, and now can he hit it? Can he hit it? Ooh, is it in range? It looks like it's in range, man. This thing has really long range. He might not have had sight, though. I think it's got longer range than sight. What's the range on this thing? I feel like it's 44. It's not telling me here, but honestly, it's really high. I like how the Venom kind of makes the Carnifex faster as well. That's really nice. This Vex kind of needs to go back to base, though, to heal. It's just... I don't like it running around with this much HP. Oh, is he a tier 3 Lictor? What the fuck? I didn't even notice that. That's a really funny choice. Why a tier 3 Lictor? I mean, don't get me wrong, Fleshhook's actually going to be really nice to control the Aversa Assassin. Granted, he is dead right now, but, you know, only 250 to revive him. But, yeah, I mean, Cain's been in tier 2 for ages at this point. If I was Todd, I'd definitely be worried about Grey Knight Terminators coming out. You would expect the Terminators... Oh, God. Beamer's set up. I'm going to disrupt it with the Bioplasma, that's nice. Now going to jump it with the Raveners. Right, so now the Vex needs to shoot the Rhino. Stop shooting the fucking Beamers. Move up and get the Rhino. It was stationary for ages. Oh. Missed opportunities from Todd. But yeah, so you've gone for a Venom kind of Carnifex. That's obviously the best AV option that the Nids have. It's a very strong one. It'll handily beat a tank 1v1. And Grey Knights don't even have a proper tank. They've got the Warhammer, which is like a fast attack vehicle, but it's less durable than a normal tank. So you have to assume they... Ooh, another Bioplasma. Oh, he cancelled it. Oh, he should have done it. Could have got it then, because it played stationary. It's going for it again. Now he only gets the frontal shot, and then he backs off. It's always worth going for the rear armor, because usually when people see that blob coming for you, they'll just back off anyway, when they see the Bioplasma. The Aversa Assassin's out here again, putting in major work. Lictor's going to try and duel him, but he's got hypermetabolism active. You can see it's giving him shitloads of HP regen. Wow, he nearly dies. Oh, now Carnifex is going to go down to the power melee. Caught out by the Beamer. Really, the Termagants should have been crippling poisoning Terminators a lot earlier, and the Beamer should have been tied up in melee by the Termagants as well. So this is the problem, right? He wouldn't have gone Vortimer, because you already have a Venom Carnifex. So you have to expect Terminators coming out. But look at the Terminators right now. Termagants just don't do anything to them. Super heavy infantry. Termagants are irrelevant. And I feel like this is Todd just gonna fall apart right now. So we got this Lictor. Maybe that was to like control the Aversa Assassin or something, but unfortunately it doesn't really do anything against Terminators. Oh, it seems like a desperation nuke. It looks like both the Termagants are gonna die at this point. Yep. Okay. I think Todd's throwing it. I think XD. Yeah, I think Todd's throwing it, boys. Yep, he throws in the towel. I would have liked to have seen a Neura throw up, and then you would have had a bit more of a composition to fight the Terminators, but in all honesty, you probably still have been screwed, to be blunt, because the Rhino's still alive and it's nearly level 4. Purifiers at this point, level 2, still sticking around. I think if the Venom Cannon Carnifex managed to take out the Rhino, and then you got a Neurofury up instead of the Lictor, obviously didn't throw away the Termagants and waste your nuke out of desperation, then I think you'd still be in the game, for sure. We could have had a really long 30-minute, 40-minute game that would have been really cool to watch, but nope, not this time. Not this time. That is going to be it. I honestly liked the choice to get the Venom Cannon on the Hive Tyrant and then go for the Gene Stealers, but this engagement here, where the Aversa charged in, used by a meltdown, and then wiped the Gene Stealers, whilst the Hive Tyrant was trying to finish off the Rhino, and then the Hive Tyrant went down as well, and all that Cain lost was well, I say all that he lost, strikes and the Aversa Assassin. I don't know, I guess compositionally it just didn't really affect Cain that much, because he just replaced the strikes with the Purifiers, whereas Todd didn't really have anything to replace the Gene Stealers with. Because Raveners and Warriors are great melee units, they're super tanky, very disruptive, but they just don't do the DPS. The Purifiers did really well then. I like to see Purifiers, you don't see them very often. I think Cain made some really good choices, it was just micro errors really. Throwing away his IST early on and like losing the strike squad in that engagement, etc. Lost the Aversa Assassin quite a lot, but you know, That's kind of just what the Aversa Assassin's all about, isn't he? High risk, high reward. He's going to be in the thick of it, low HP quite a lot, but he definitely put in a lot of work. Level 6 by the end of the game. Hive stuck at level 2. He did his thing in tier 1. I don't really think it was necessary to get any upgrades in tier 1. I think that was fine. I think Todd played really well in tier 1 as well. I felt like he was pushing the gen farms a lot and just doing really good. Had the better end of map control. But it just all fell apart in tier 2. I don't know if the tech to the Venom Cannon Carnifex was worth it. Like I say, if the Venom Cannon Carnifex killed that Rhino, things would be very, very different. Because then you'd be able to keep the effects really far back, just use them as range support, counter initiate purifiers in melee, and get your Neuro up to deal with the Terminators. But that's not what happened. The game is done in favour of Cain. And that is a Middling Mondays, folks. I guess that's it. Top it out.